Well, good afternoon, Atlanta. It is good to see you, and it is good to be here in the Peach State here of Georgia. And what an incredible welcome. Like I said, it's great to be back here in Atlanta, the heart and soul of Georgia. I want to thank Mayor Dinkins for his leadership and for opening this space for us today. Mayor, thank you very much for doing that on somewhat of a short notice. We appreciate it very much. Thank you to Senator John Ossoff, Congresswoman Williams, Congresswoman McBath, and all the local leaders who are here today. And actually, most of those leaders flew down this morning on Air Force One. They came up last night and then flew down this morning with us on Air Force One. One of the things that I like doing as president is when we make these trips is to sit down with the local delegations and hear what's going on in our city, in your city, in your state, and see what we can do from the Washington standpoint to try to fix it. And a little bit later on, we'll be making a tour through some stops here in Atlanta, and so we'll be out seeing you folks a little bit here later on today. And I want to acknowledge also all the local leaders who are here, and I want to also acknowledge the bipartisan work we've seen in Georgia, and I mean bipartisan work. Georgia, your governor, Brian Kemp, and I have found a common ground on infrastructure, and we put Georgia first. We get things done. This city, this state, they represent the very best of America: hard work, innovation, resilience, and community. Georgia has always been special to me. From the peaches to the people, from the history of civil rights to the future you're building right now, it's a place where progress happens when you come together. We've come a long ways in 5 years. I want you to think about that. The last 5 years, how much progress we made. When we took office, we were pulling out of a pandemic, a once in a lifetime pandemic that took too many lives, and an economy that was on the brink, and a world questioning America's leadership. We were tested. Yes, we were tested. We rose to the challenge, and together we have turned that page. Contrary to a lot of things, I still believe that the State of the Union is strong, not because of any one person or party, but because the American people are resilient, hardworking, and determined to build a better future. Look what we've done together in these 5 years. Think about what we've done. We've created record job growth, more than 15 million jobs nationwide. In Georgia, manufacturing is booming again. The CHIPS and Science Act is bringing semiconductor factories and good paying jobs to communities across the state, bringing semiconductor jobs back to this country at the very place where they were created. And infrastructure investments are fixing roads and bridges, expanding broadband to rural areas, and creating opportunities for the next generation. Think about the infrastructure when it comes to Wi-Fi. Think about the pandemic. When those early days of the pandemic happened, you had parents pulling into McDonald's parking lots to get on Wi-Fi so their child could attend classes. That doesn't happen anymore. We are making drastic strides in ensuring that the entire country is connected, and that's part of our infrastructure package. We're ensuring that the internet's available to everyone in this country, and fixing roads and bridges. You know, in my hometown, you hear me talk about a lot of my hometown in Texas. We have a major infrastructure program that we are trying to get off the ground, a major thoroughfare that connects the north and southern sides of our community. And that wouldn't have been possible without the work that we've done here in the last 5 years. It would not have been possible. Um, and that's true all across the country. Many projects are underway because of that. You know, and we're creating opportunities for the next generation. Prescription drugs, those prices are finally capped for seniors, saving families hundreds of dollars a year. Wages are up. Inflation is cooling. And I want to talk a little bit more about prescription drug prices. As you know, I'm married to an educator going on almost 31 years, be 31 years in November. But, you know, I've, we have a lot of educator friends, and one of them had to get, and this has been a while back, but this story tells you how much prescription drugs cost. One of the teachers I know, she had to get a prescription, and it wasn't for something she wanted. Uh, it's something that she needed. The prescription price was $600. Folks, that is way too much. So we're making drastic strides in ensuring that teacher pays no more than $40 on prescription drug prices. And like I said, we're capping that for, and that's saving families hundreds of dollars a year. And um, it brings up. I talked a lot about teachers. It brings up teacher pay. Uh, some of the teachers that I know are living on the brink. That shouldn't happen. They have two jobs. Here are here are men and women who are training and who are educating the next generation of astronauts, explorers, our leaders, and they're having to work two jobs. That should never happen. And under my Back to Basics education program that we are getting through Congress, that they will see a hefty increase. Gas prices are down also from their peak, and I can tell you they are down in my home state of Texas. I think we're around $2.50 a gallon the other day. And in Georgia, you're seeing it here too. I've heard new plants opening, workers getting raises, families feeling real relief at the grocery store and the gas pump. This happened by accident. It happened because we invested in America, in our people, our industries, and our future. The American Rescue Plan put money directly into the pockets and kept businesses open. The bipartisan infrastructure law, rebuilding from the ground, the CHIPS and Science Act is bringing manufacturing home. The Inflation Act is creating clean energy jobs and lowering energy cost. And you've heard me talk a lot about EV vehicles. I read something the other day where these EV charging ports are starting to uh, spread out throughout the country. So we're making progress on that, but we still have my commitment that we will not make the conversion to a complete EV country until the infrastructure is ready. I swear to you, as long as this administration is in power, we will not make that conversion until we are ready to do it. And these are bipartisan wins. These aren't Democrat wins. These aren't Republican wins. These are bipartisan wins. Democrats and Republicans working together, and that's proof that when we put our country over party, we can do big things. Let me tell you about a few Georgians who represent this progress. In the audience today, we have Maria Gonzalez, a mother from the Atlanta area who lost her job during the pandemic. She retrained through our community college programs and now works installing solar panels, one of the fastest growing jobs in the state. Maria, thank you for showing us that resilience. Looks like your story is Georgia's story. Across from her, we have James Carter, and I know that's the name of another famous Georgian, but it's not that person. But James Carter, a steel worker from the metro area. James helped build the new bridge project on I-75, part of the infrastructure law we passed together. That bridge is safer, stronger, and creating jobs for years to come. James, thank you for your hard work and for proving that when we invest in America, we win. Thank you guys very much. And sitting nearby is Dr. Elena Ramirez. She is a pediatrician from a community health center in Atlanta. Dr. Ramirez now prescribes insulin for her patients at $35 a month instead of hundreds uh, because we capped the price. Folks, we capped the price. She sees the relief in parents' eyes every day. Elena, thank you for being on the front lines and caring for our children, the future leaders of this country. And I also want to recognize Sergeant First Class Michael Thompson. No related no relation to my chief of staff, by the way, a veteran from the Atlanta area. Michael served 2 tours overseas. Today, he receives the care he earned under the PACT Act, the largest expansion of veterans' benefits in decades. Michael, as always, thank you for your service and thank you for reminding us that we must always take care of those who take care of us. Those are just a few of the stories, and there are millions more. Teachers, nurses, factory workers, small business owners who are seeing the benefits of what we've done together. But we're not done. We're not done. The State of Union is coming up in a couple of weeks, and I will lay out how we will continue that job. More tax relief for the middle class, expanding the child tax credit, cutting taxes for working families, more help with housing affordability, building more homes, cracking down on price gouging. And those are just a few of the things that I want to see us accomplish together. One of the things I'd like to see is a tightening of the laws concerning real estate. I'm sure it's happening here in the Atlanta area, in the Georgia area, but there's a lot of home prospectors that are out there that are just buying homes left and right. They're showing people cash, a quick, dirty, no, I shouldn't say dirty sale, but a quick sell, and they're offering money to people, and they will in turn buy the house, flip the house, and that in turn brings in, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that brings in the wrong group of people to the city. So I want to see a tightening of that where if you are one of these house prospectors and you purchase a house, you purchase it, it is yours for 5 years. Yours for 5 years. It's yours. It's no quick dirty sell. I keep saying dirty, but I shouldn't say dirty. It's no quick sell. It's yours for 5 years. Because I believe when you invest in your city, you invest in your community, better things happen. A lot of these prospectors, they'll be looking around these cities, and they're just wanting to buy. They don't know the mayor. They don't know the school board. They don't know that the school's got an A rating, B rating, C rating, D rating. They don't know that. All they know is money. So I want to see a tightening of that. And also I want to see more tax relief for the middle class. Like I said, expanding the child tax credit, cutting taxes for working families. Here's the deal on that. I want to see a tax incentive plan where the upper class, and they've done quite well. They're making a good salary, a good living. They've done quite well. But if they come back to their community and give back, let's say we have an architect who has done quite well, and he comes back to his community, his hometown, and helps out an up and coming business. Let's say they needed a restaurant built or a doctor's office, just for example. That architect could contribute their services to that individual, and in turn, by doing that, that architect receives a tax credit. It's giving back to one's community. It's the old saying, much is given, much is required. And those are just a few of the things that we have been really talking about a lot. More investments in clean energy, jobs that will pay well and can't be outsourced. And many of you folks have heard me say this. I was a victim of outsourcing a long time ago, but my job was outsourced to a foreign country. And within 2 years, the company I worked for found that it wasn't such a great idea. They brought the job back. But I want to see us keep American jobs in the United States with American workers. On immigration, we've taken executive action to strengthen border security, but real reform requires Congress to act. Bipartisan legislation that secures the border, provides a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, ends family separation, and treats people with dignity. You heard me right. Treats people with dignity. We will defend reproductive rights, voting rights, and the right to live free from discrimination. These are not partisan issues. These are American values. Globally, we rallied the world to stand with Ukraine against aggression. We brokered peace deals in the Middle East. We strengthened alliances and restored America's credibility. Strength and diplomacy, they worked together. And the soul of the nation, we continue to fight for democracy, for the rule of law, and for the ideal that no one of the law. We will reject division and embrace unity because that's who we are as Americans. The midterms are coming up, and Georgia, as always, lately is ground zero. We need to reelect Senator Jon Ossoff, hold our seats, our House seats with fighters like Williams and McBeth, and keep building on the progress of Mayor Dinkins, what he's doing here in Atlanta. I know Georgians, you vote for results, not rhetoric. You vote for unity over division. You vote for leaders who fight for jobs, for families, for the future. And that's why I'm asking you to support our Democratic slate of candidates. They'll fight for Georgia values every day. Let's keep building. Let's keep uniting Georgia. You show the way. When we work together, there's nothing that we can't do. And I love paraphrasing this, and I will give him credit. But a former occupant in his office often said, President Biden often says, there's nothing beyond our capacity that we can accomplish if we don't do it together. If we can do it together, we can accomplish great things. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God bless Georgia. May God bless the United States of America. And may you protect our troops. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.